Okay. Oh no, the horse. I remember. I haven't watched this movie in a long time. My dad has the DVD, and haven't seen it in a long ass time. I wonder if that horse. You do that, the horse could break its neck. Yeah, they have a thing. No animals were harmed in the filming of this. That horse rolled over and flipped over. That could break the horse's neck. Shit. And you're watching this like, God dang. And when the one horse fell too. Yeah. I think that's the Grand Tetons. You guys think that's the Grand Tetons? You think that's in Wyoming? It might be. Okay. But they almost kill a horse to pay their bills. That's horrible to do to a horse. Yeah, there's a song about the old horse that Michael Morton Murphy Dad had on his things. I'm gonna get you grass up to your knees, right? They say you're, away with horses that are gonna go, send them off to glue factory or dog food. Not you, horse. Remember that time when you stung me? I got stung by a bumblebee. I was mad at you. You threw me into that tree. Then I saw the welts on you. I said I probably would have done the same thing too. Because you don't have hands to shoo them off. You just, yeah. Reminds me of John Alkire with the the yellow jacket eating the sun kissed off my. It was up in Wyoming too. Seeing the sun kissed off my mustache. He's freaking out, and Robert Nice is trying not to crack up, and I'm like, John, what other choice do I have? It's eating the soda off of my mustache. And I'm having to do it like this too. John, what choice do I have? It's eating the soda off my mustache. I had no choice. I just got to sit here and you stir it up and it stings me on the. Oh, he hissed off at you. And Robert's cracking up. Robert's over there. And John's freaking out, going, there's a yellow jacket eating off your mustache, And I'm like, it was so funny. I was like, yeah, and it tickles like a son of a bitch, too. It was funny. What do? There's a yellow jacket on you. You just plopped right up on my upper lip and just started munching away at all the soda in my mustache. So I told myself, don't give the kids, don't drink during this time of year in spring up near, Big Goose Creek High, and Cloud Peak and everything. Don't, we just saw Charlton Heston's butt. I didn't remember that part of the movie. I just remembered that Running Moon was pretty and she liked him. And the guy that tried to get her back, he was really good looking. Lots better looking than the older mountain man that she liked. But the older mountain man she liked was kinder. He was a nicer person. The attractive younger guy was a murdering, abusive asshole. And you'll find that shallow people, like attracts like. And don't be a shallow person. Okay. I gotta get in shape, man. He's as old as me in this movie. And he's in much better shape. Of course, his NRA based business partners, abuse the hell out of me. The way they abuse people that migrate here from South and Central America. So, go figure. Yeah, when you try to save people and then stop their business, they get really mean to you. Well, they have laws. They're called laws. They're lawmakers. Yeah, guys, there's an eternal spirit of the Christ. It's all through the Bible. Okay. There's lots of books about it. There's one called Malachi. The one that explains it the best is a book called Amos. You ever read Amos? I'm not the king. The other guy's the king. The other one that describes it really good is Samuel's and Kings, and where Samuel writes down, this guy's not the king. This isn't the Christ. Okay, this Saul guy's not the Christ. The Christ has to be living among us because we've always had the Christ. but he's not. It's not this Saul guy. He claims to be, but he's not. Same with the book of Amos, right? Herod hunting down and trying to kill the Christ as a baby because of the prophecy and claiming to be the Christ. You know, like Benjamin Netanyahu and all his business partners. Come see the Holy Land before it blew it up. Help save all the poor people of Israel. And also work with their business partners to try to depress and poison the Messiah to death in New Mexico and act like he doesn't exist. You know, it's if you want me, you can find me left of center. My name is Luca. Just don't ask me how I am. You can ask me. I'll tell you I'm tolerable. We're not living the Lord's Prayer, and that sucks, so I'm tolerable. I love the gift of life from the glory of God, and I love people. You know, if you know what life is worth, you'd look for years on earth, and now you see the light, right? So, love, love, love. I love. You know, like Natalie. I love, love. She's so cute. I have that somewhere. I gotta find it. I got it on some of my memory cards. I recorded it on the computer over there. I love you. So cute. Oh my gosh, it's so cute. Yeah, so you can tell Marty Martin, no, the babysitter didn't lose Mogan cycle. You have that word now, like Kringle Bells and Clacklet Clip and Cluties and Orch and love, not love, love. I love you. You're so cute. And Malaki and Batma, that's our words. You know, me and her talk about that. They were really mean to us. Yeah, they were very mean to us. They're still very mean to us. Natalie, Michelle, you're so cute. Yeah, Emily's one of the sweetest people in the world, you know. I had somebody say that to me. What's wrong with me? You know, nothing's wrong with any woman that is given life by the glory of God. What's wrong is the devil in our house is abusing us with money and science projects. Okay. And Natalie was old enough to get up, and she went through maturation as a woman to try to protect me. And her mother, because she was being sexually predicated on by the scientific military community in Sheridan, got mad at Natalie because Natalie saw me as the more appropriate parent and was defending me when mom was having cyber sex with assholes, military assholes online in front of the kids. And Natalie told me about it at her doctor's visit when she was 7 years old. And kids don't make that kind of shit up, guys. Don't make that up. And Amy was really abusive to her, mean to her, and then she took that time to tell Natalie that I was not her father. Okay, so Natalie didn't feel anything wrong, especially she was being abused by those military people too, and maturation came all too soon for my little girl. And it affected her other siblings, Noah and Kate and Emily, you know, and that's psychologically hard to deal with. That's why Kate likes, you know, the Batman cartoons that are kind of dark, and she likes to play big games like Fable to keep people safe and protect people from spells and necromancers and shit like that. And shits of goddesses and whatever you call them, right? So there's a lot, for the brain activity, you understand it real well. And as it just so happens, Natalie hit puberty early and developed early and was trying to protect me from the time she was, you know, and was being mom to Kate when she was 9. And, you know, by the time it all hit in on her big time, you know, she was the one guy she found most attractive in Cochise County, and, you know, where they have all the Jason Bourne, oh, sexy, who speaks 5 different languages, can kill you, Carl McGraw, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo all at the same time, and but it just so happens her mom's married to the most gorgeous, beautiful, protecting, loving one of them all. And, you know, I was getting fat and tired from all their abuse. And then when I started getting in shape, because we couldn't afford to drive the car and stuff, the truck anymore, and I lost weight and all that, Natalie went to the store with me. She goes, Mom, it's like going to the store with Johnny Depp. Dad's like Johnny Depp. He's like a superstar. She told Amy that, and Amy got mad. Threw all my clothes down in the closet and had Pebbles saturate them in pee, all my new clothes. I couldn't wear the old clothes anymore. They didn't fit. They were too baggy. So I had to buy new clothes for myself. And then she told me how selfish I was. And I was like, that's the first time I bought new clothes for myself in 10 years or more. You know, it was a long time. The only thing I ever did was every birthday I bought myself a copy of NCAA football for the video game, so I could handle being married to Amy, always screwing around and laughing at me about it. I had an environment I could have an aspect of control in, and I could immerse myself in it, so I didn't have to think about what they were doing to her and how it was affecting all of us. But when the kids needed me, it was, oh, okay. I didn't yell at them, I'm playing my goddamn video game. I was like, I'm playing the damn video game too, because I don't want to think about your mother screwing around, stuff like that. But, when the kids needed me, I was always there, and I always kept the house. I was Mr. Mom, When I was home with the kids, it was like Peggy, Breakfast was made, dinner was cooked, this was that. And most of the hard work she did at her jobs, I did it. She was a circulation director at a newspaper. Unless she was out screwing around, if it was really hard and really extensive and really cold, the kids slept in the back and I went with her and we did it. Or if it was really cold and really bad, I did most of all of it, like the bulletin, and old Dave, she told Dave, what was his name again? I can't remember. Dave, he sat there and said, you didn't get these ones far enough up on the driveway up in the Hootie Tootieville. Said, man, I threw 5,000 papers. By the time you get to the last 1,000 or whatever, you can barely chuck it. You just drive them in the driveway and leave it right by the mailbox. You just flop it down on the ground. You can't throw anymore. You throw 5,000 pitches in one night and tell me how your arm's doing. I fucking don't want to hear it. I told her that. Don't bullshit. Okay. I threw 5,000 papers yesterday. Okay. My arm is so, took me a week to recover. Because you try to get it, he wanted them all the way up the driveway, and they were in a plastic bag, and so I could slide them up the driveway. And at first I got going, and then at the last, because it was closer to home, we lived up on the mesa, I worked my way down the valley and back up. And then it was the Hootie Tootie houses at the last, and I just couldn't get it there. I drive up and just drop it by the mailboxes. So I figured when they go check the mail, they could get the paper, because I was too tired to throw it all the way up the driveway. And heaven forbid the rich people that involved in espionage and mass murder of Iraqis for petroleum products have to walk down to the mailbox to get their fucking propaganda from you dirtbags. McCollum, that was his name. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the last conversation with him. I got the names wrong. There was Salas and Lopez. There were two little girls on the team. One was Brooke Salas, and another girl was Lopez. Actually, I said Lopez instead of Salas, and they always do that with me. When I get a name wrong or a person wrong, that's what they fixate on, is he was wrong. I meant Lopez. I should have said Salas, but I didn't. There was a Lopez girl and a Salas girl. The Salas girl was dating the Haley kid. Yeah, they were cute. And all his friends would laugh and talk about what a better shooter his girlfriend was. He would just sit there and shake his head and laugh. She shoots better, only she shoots better. Well, yeah, it was true. She did. Okay. Like Abby could shoot. Abby Scott. Resball. And I'm sitting there thinking, watching this stuff about, Native Americans. Resball, Abby Scott, and the quiet one. Sasha didn't say much. Sasha Weber. I like Sasha. Sasha was a sweetheart and a real good friend to Abby. And Abby was a good kid. I like her very much. She's a sweetheart of a kid. She was one of my best buddies. She was very outgoing, and I lived up in the Northwest, and we talked a lot about, going up there and living and playing res basketball, And, it was fun. Yeah. She's a good kid. A very, very good kid. Yeah. Old Abby Scott. Yeah. So I was thinking last night, I was like, she was like my best bud on the team, and I couldn't remember her name. You know how you get in those things where you get I know it's from all this brain injury, from all this abuse. You remember people's names and have more meaningful and sustained relationships when your time is yours and you're not being extorted and exploited and manipulated and abused by selfish perverts. And then, it's hard for other people. Because, it's terrible to do to human beings. We need more time for meaningful relationships. A lot of people know the names of their favorite actors, singers, and rap artists, and more about them than they know about their classmates or their friends or people that have, everyday relationships with that are very meaningful and important, but they don't perceive them as meaningful and important because they're not famous and don't have lots of money, holding food and necessities hostage on TV to make them millionaires and billionaires. It's absolute insanity. It's horrible. It's very horrible. Yeah, it is. That guy really didn't get shot with that arrow, you guys. This is all pretending for money to do all this stuff. It's very heroic, though, right? Reenacting mass murder of the good old days. Talking about the good old days, right? So it's horrible. The things that people are willing to reenact and do to make their money, to feel, like what they did in the past being archaic and barbaric, is justified now because, we got to hold tight to our traditions and remember where we came from and who we were. Yeah, and then learn not to ever do that kind of batshit fucking archaic, bomb yourself back in the Stone Age stuff. I'm going to live off the grid and sustain myself. No, there's nothing wrong with information for science and technology to build something to last that will help your family not live in archaic conditions and have survival of the Fervidus type barbaric, mythological, superstitious conditions, right? Like this, okay? You can avoid all this type of stuff. Man goes out in the woods and builds cabin out of peat, and you're watching it going, he's putting all this stuff in there. You're not sitting there taking the bricks, because we learned later to take the bricks and bake the bricks to kill all the critters inside the bricks. And then you mortar around the bricks so they don't get tons and tons of critters in the, you know what I'm saying? And so you sit there, and if you're intelligent, right, you learn how to build things in a more intelligent manner, like a good adobe house like Muhammad, and a lot of people indigenously in the southern portions of where life was different. They built houses with a lot of bricks and things and stuff like that weren't destroyed by nature from the inside out, and stuff like that. So, like Haile Selassie talked about, about nature and not having nature too close to the house, and don't put trees and plants inside the architecture and you should not build, your house into a tree or from a tree, or, and other things like that and stuff like that. You don't subjugate nature to yourself. The dead will suffer the living, so you take the wood and it's not alive, and you treat it, and you do like that. You bake the bricks and you put and you mortar it real well, and you make them thick, and you make it like it's like a nature made, certain kinds of caves and things like that. You learn from your mistakes, and you share care, and it's eternal forms of communication. And when it's faithful, it's absolutely wonderful and amazing, like Proverbs, okay? And when it's unfaithful, you fight like hell for money. You come up with the best projects to be the most powerful manipulator of energy in the history of the world, and call yourself the greatest thing since the stuffed crust pizza, right? Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, ba-doom, ba-doom, boom, ba-doom, banana nut. All right, crazy ass motherfuckers. It's hard. I'm a history major. I dropped out of school because philanthropy is genocidal, not because I was stupid. I was far too intelligent for the administration at Arizona State University to get a piece of paper from them to say that I owe them money to live here and they own the planet and they're such fucking geniuses, right? I am far superior intellectually, emotionally, psychologically, physiologically. I didn't know I was physiologically superior to most people. I had no clue. Well, it's like M. Night Shyamalan's imagination with Bruce Willis on Unbreakable. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I when I got in that car accident, and Therese had me go get an MRI to check for a blood clot, right? because I hit my head, and I told her what happened. She's, you didn't, I wasn't even concussed. I got out and was making, Mr. Jennings, who hit us at 86 miles per hour and wasn't paying attention, and the other lady, she was disoriented and all that stuff, and he was disoriented, but me, no. I was sound as a pound. My adrenaline was running, and with doping and everything was, I thought I was dead, because when he hit me and I got pinched between, got shot across 4 lanes of traffic, I was waiting for the next hit, and the next hit, and the next hit, as the truck was sliding and got bent in half. And I was looking at the pavement going, oh, I'm fucked. If that guy hit me, and hit us and did that, I was waiting for the next, maniac, but there wasn't. He wasn't paying attention. She wasn't either. She was talking on her cell phone on her new Jeep Cherokee, and I was paying attention, and both of them weren't. Yeah. And she wasn't paying attention. I couldn't see past her car. Her vehicle is bigger, and then I saw there's construction ahead, and started stopping. And then, like I explained with the insurance people, God, they're such assholes. I said, I stopped. I hit the brakes, but I wasn't stopping. That's because his Capri station wagon that wasn't stopping at all got underneath the bed of my truck, lifted the back tires off, and pushing it into her Jeep Cherokee. So I turned the wheel as fast as I can not to hit her directly. The cops were like, he did such a good job of making sure that the accident was less fatal and less of a problem for the other two. Yeah, I do that. I did that with the cops wrote that about all the accidents that happened like that when I was in Arizona. The cops were real cool about it. They saw what happened. They looked at it and they're like, wow. And they would tell me, Mr. Parsons, you're a very defensive and excellent driver. And I say, thank you. Because they were doing their job and they were being good people. Like Jack, when I hit the guy who didn't have the brake lights, and he said, he was a cop in Seattle, said, you should have had him pull it for evidence. And I didn't think, he goes, no, he should have pulled it. You told him. Yeah, I did. And they wrote it down, but they didn't do anything about it. And then Geico dropped my insurance. And it's like, you can't help the way other people drive, especially in Phoenix. And they can be impulse, like they're programming a video game, and you can be put into situations where I did not know that. There are lots of times where that happened in Phoenix, and I just avoided the accident altogether. And Val, Erpy! And Jeff Girls, damn, that was impressive, Earl. I was like, well, it was either that or take the station wagon right in the front, and stuff. And no, so I had to hit the gas, and to cross the other side of the road, just like they do in the movies, stuff like that. Yes, I'd done that lots of times in Phoenix to avoid accidents, because people can drive like assholes in Phoenix. Oh God, yes, it's horrible. Yeah, Phoenix, Houston is probably the worst place I've ever drove. Houston, Texas. Yeah. Phoenix, they're kind of like rattlesnakes, you come near them when they're doing their thing, they butt at you. In Houston, they're like water moccasins, is what I said. Where you get in the boat and you go out there and water moccasins chase you and try to hit you. That's what it's like driving in Houston. I hated driving in Houston. Damn, these people have problems. Oh, yeah. And I understand why the truck drivers in New Mexico are so obnoxious and mean, because the Mexicans, the speed limit is 35 everywhere, including the school zones, which makes a lot of money for all local police departments. It's true. Nothing so because as a matter of fact, when I was going to riding around doing my errands around town the other day, a policeman got somebody doing that in a school zone. Yeah, they were going 35. They weren't paying attention. And when it's 3 o'clock, you got to pay attention, because there's lots of school zones. You got to look out for the little critters being indoctrinated through philanthropy. Yeah, because they're not always paying attention too, or they're doing this. They're either looking at this or listening to that. They're not paying attention. And you're not paying attention either, because you care more about driving your car and getting to where you do whatever you're doing for the money to look into this or listen to that, which is more important than living a meaningful life with real people, not pretending to be something they're not. In ancient times when we were crazy bastards, and we're not crazy bastards anymore, sometimes we wish we were crazy bastards again. Oh, don't worry, you still are. Okay, do you understand? You're still crazy bastards. Oh, yeah. Trust me. Trust me. I love you. Trust me. I want to trust you, baby. Right? Trust me. I love you. Nothing lasts forever. Nothing lasts forever. Okay. Old guru. Yeah. Um, Nothing in the physical lasts forever. Okay. Infinite glory, yes, lasts forever. Okay. The infinite essence of the soul lasts forever. Okay. All we are is dust in the wind, bro. Everything finite does not, quote, last forever in its perpetual metric structure. And it's, while it's, quote, lasting, it's like a river, you know. It's constantly molecularly changing form and shape and figure like a river, okay? And how clean or how polluted the river is entirely up to us, okay? Nights in white satin, never reaching the end, right? Letters I've written, never meaning to send, right? Good song, yeah. If you're gonna go, you better go now, go now, go now. Anybody else like the Moody Blues? Looking at the self-reflections. It's not Tuesday afternoon. It's Monday afternoon. Which reminds me, when we're done here, we gotta, which was pretty soon, we gotta go wash and put on a pot of beans. Okay. Boom ba boom boom ba boom boom ba banana nut. All right, guys and dolls. I've never understood inebriation being a good time. No, I've always had to be the designator. I only got inebriated when I was really nervous to be the spokesman at first time I public spoke at Tom's wedding. Got inebriated then. They got me drunk so I'd be not nervous speaking in front of people. And then after that, when I got inebriated, it was usually because I got pissed off because my girlfriends were being buttheads. Yeah. Every other time I got inebriated, I was pissed off because my girlfriends, yeah, my wives, they were never my wives. My girlfriends were being buttheads. We live in the Lord's Prayer? No. Then I've never had a wife. I've had girlfriends that I've had sex with. Okay? And all you self-righteous hypocrites in corporations you call religions that make money, and money's not real, so how can you make it? You're not making love. You have girlfriends you have sex with, and you have forgotten words and funds, and for the ink stains that are dried upon sunlight. And most of you never forget the funds. Okay, it's all about the funds. I watch 2020. I watch Dateline. What would you do? Not what you fuckers do. I'd get up and stand up for the Lord's Prayer and do everything in my ability to stop little girls from being raped to death at the border of Mexico when they told me exactly what was happening on a grand scale. I saw movies about it with Jack Nicholson but I didn't know the extent of it and how bad it had gotten. And it wasn't that I wasn't paying attention. It was just, I thought, all the heroes were going to take care of it for the screenwriters for the Robert Redford movies, right? Well, they'll take care of it. Like, Jesus said, Casamia, somebody's got to do something about this. Why not you, Earl? You want everybody else to have to do it? What if you're the most capable of doing something about it? Remember when I was a little boy and I said the nuclear war was stupid and I was the man that was going to help you stop it. And okay, I'm capable. More than handy capable. You bet your George Carlin Catholic school ass. More than handy capable. Yeah. Okay. This is not deja vu. It's Vuja Day. It's Vuja Day. Remember that? That was funny. It's Vuja Day. This is Vuja Day. Okay? It's not deja vu. No, you're not a battery plugged into a computer and they keep rebooting you to make you think you're alive. This is Vuja Day. Okay. Will we get to that? I think that's most likely probably an alternate universe perception of people that were fucking with wormholes and cloning and stem cell research, and then that wasn't working right, so they put their brains on a robot, stuff like that. So I think that's what, Deja Vu and Vuja Day is all about, which is a very good song by Dionne Warwick. This is divine, right? Anybody else like that song? Deja vu, could you be the dream that I once knew? Is it you? I keep remembering me. I keep remembering you. Deja vu. Good tune. Yeah. Yeah, old Dionne Warwick. Who, what, when, where, why. You were my guy. Feeling old feelings again. It's a good album. I got a lot of the songs from that album. It was one of our traveling albums when we went as kids. Yeah, it was Dion was the name of the album. We had that. Anne Murray's Greatest Hits. John Denver's Greatest Hits. One, the 1 and 2 one, and what was the other one? Best of Dolly Parton. Jolene, she sure ain't gonna miss her mother, right? Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace out, man. Bargain store is open. Come inside.